This is why the ducks took off running. There's 2 hawks up there. And so we keep under the buildings open so that the ducks and the roosters can go hide. But we've had a lot of hawks floating around here. Now, hopefully they're going after the rabbits. Let me zoom in there. And they will just soar over our coop area here. And the chickens are really smart about it. Usually they crow and hide. Now, a farm friend of mine says if you walk out every so often, you see them and you shoot a shotgun up in the air, use some bird shot, just fire it up in the air, not at the birds. If you kill a hawk, you're gonna get in trouble. But you just fire it up in the air to give it some distraction, the threat of an issue. Then your animals will be okay. Your animals get used to the sound. But half the ducks took off and ran. The other half of the ducks are standing around wondering where the best water is. And those birds hopefully are looking for the rabbits in the woods, because I've seen them on the trails catch stuff. A lot of the trails are designed that a hawk can come down through the trail. Now, if we have a fence running down the middle of the trail, like a temporary fence, the hawk can't come down and get a goat or something. But there is evidence that birds have come down through the trails. Oh, sometimes there's hawks around back here, and gotten things like rabbits and foxes and stuff. But the drakes are 20 bucks a pop. Smaller birds are $8 each. Put some feed into them at 7.5 cents a day. I'd rather the hawks not get them. And of course, these girls are breeding. And so when they got their little babies out here, I need to make sure we have adequate shelter for the babies. The kids, right? Make sure your kids are properly protected from the hawks. The hawks, the foxes, the coyotes, the raccoons, possums. There's a lot of stuff out here. And I think those birds went away. Usually if I'm walking around and doing stuff, the birds will go away. All right. I don't have a shotgun out. Next time I'll blast up in the air and let them birds know they ain't welcome here. They are beautiful hawks, though. But that's why the ducks had took off running, and now they're back out wandering around again. So, a couple tips before we go. You want to have some places for them to have overhead shelter. Those blocks were not put in very well under that building, so we're gonna have to reset that building, but it'll still have a little bit of crawl space under it. I do need to get up under there and put in insulation. That gives a place for the ducks to go. There's some little shelters here and there. Of course, they can go into any of the shelters that are used by the goats, because the ducks can get through the cattle fence. But we left gates open on a couple corrals that contain shelters so the ducks can go in there. But the ducks aren't going to always notice the predators, so we like to have the roosters out here and the ducks out together, so that they can cue off each other, as the chickens cue off the ducks when they find food, and the ducks cue off the chickens when they're annoying the chickens and the chickens come out. I don't actually see where the chickens are. They're probably up under a building. They tend to see. I wouldn't put it past those roosters to see the threat, not say anything, so that the dumb ducks get caught. Who knows?